Good afternoon. Just under 20 minutes to go in today's football matches. Goals scored between now and the final whistles will settle more promotion, playoff and relegation issues. Mark Bright, Les Ferdinand and Garth Crooks are paying close attention to the Barclays Premier League matches being played. Arsenal 2, Reading 0 is a result. More details on the way after the latest news on the fight to avoid being relegated out of the Premier League. Second bottom Fulham gave themselves some hope by winning away at Reading last Saturday. They have to build on that at home to Liverpool, who need the points themselves to guarantee a Champions League place for next season. Jake Humphrey reporting.
Well, Ray, the afternoon started with Rafa ringing the changes, 8 in all, and as he had one eye on a date with Chelsea this week. And it was also all change as the game got underway. Craven Cottage resembled Anfield. Fulham terrorised the Reds, whose changes made them look nervy and sloppy. But Liverpool settled and eventually burst Fulham's bubble. It was a swift attack that opened up the home side. Varane into Lucas, onto Jermaine Pennant. And as Branger Hangeland's huge frame struggled to fill the void left by an AWOL Paul Konchesky, Pennant finished like it was a park kickabout into the roof of the net. Fulham have huffed, puffed, and despite Healy's hard work, Bullard's class and Brian McBride's muscle, Roy Hodgson's men have never really threatened Jose Reyna's goal. And moments ago, Jermaine Pennant's ball into the box. Peter Crouch was waiting. This time, it was his right foot shot that broke the hearts of the Fulham fans. 2-0 to Liverpool.
Sheffield United 2, Hull 0. Hull kicked off second in the Championship table. Wolves 1, Ipswich 0. 8th against 7th, both teams knocking on the door for the playoffs. Sylvan Eubanks-Blake on 73 minutes. Could be a vital go for Wolves. They have a game in hand as well. Right, back to the Barclays Premier League. It's great incentive for third bottom Bolton when their game at Middlesbrough kicked off. A win takes them out of the relegation places. Steve Sutton reporting.
Yes, Ray, and that's where they're heading at the moment. Middlesbrough 0, Bolton 1. Bolton with a goal on the hour. Just before the goal, Gavin McCann handled in his own box. Referee Alan Wiley decided it wasn't a penalty. The game went up the other end. Bolton were then denied a penalty just before McCann forced the ball over the line. Middlesbrough 0, Bolton 1.
Monday's draw with Chelsea took Wigan closer to the safety line. Relegation fears will disappear completely if they beat Tottenham. Richard Askham reporting.
Wigan 1, Spurs 1 after an even first half where Berbatov's opener was cancelled out by Emil Heskey. The England man turning swiftly to score. The second 45 has seen Wigan give everything. Marcus Bent struck the bar from close range. He should have scored. But Spurs, neat, tidy and clever, have also created good chances. Lennon a constant threat. The best of them when Jermaine Genius blazed over when well placed. 1-1 at the JJB.
More vital goals being scored in the Championship. West Bromwich Albion 2-1 up away at Norwich. Albion win. They're closing in on return to the Premier League. Leicester 1 up away at Barnsley. Barnsley not safe. Leicester kicked off third bottom. They need points to avoid dropping into the third tier of English football for the first time in their history. Ian Hube on 72 minutes. That goal could be priceless for Leicester City. Next up, Upton Park, where West Ham are playing relegated Derby. 3 successive defeats for the Hammers going into this match. Dan Walker reporting.
Well, we're in for an interesting last 15 minutes here, Ray. West Ham have been far from convincing, but they did lead through a soft Bobby Zamora header. But Derby have really found some fight in the second half, and a goal as well. A lightning-quick break finished off by Tyrone Mears, and we really have a game on now. West Ham fans are getting increasingly frustrated. Derby look like they're beginning to believe they could get their first away win here.
Arsenal 2, Reading 0 is the result. The game finished some 2 hours ago. Let's hear from Jonathan Pearce.
Before the match, Arsene Wenger admitted Arsenal's autumn fluency and killer instinct had been missing in recent crucial weeks. Not today. They purred, cutting swathes through a Reading side playing 5 at the back but bereft of any confidence. Adebayor, put in by Touré, slotted them ahead after half an hour, and Gilberto fired in his first of the season 8 minutes later. The 25-yarder wickedly deflecting off BK. Reading lacking in luck, but looking dangerously forlorn despite 6 changes. Van Persie with a delicious free kick, and Walcott from 12 yards hit the woodwork. Dewberry cleared off the line from Fabregas. Arsenal dominant throughout. A late Reading flurry brought layman saves from Convey and BK. The keeper's only work on a cold day. A heart-warming Arsenal performance. The chill of fear hanging over Reading. Arsenal 2, Reading 0.
That goal for Crewe could keep them in League One. They kicked off fifth bottom rather. Gillingham chasing, Nicky Maynard hat-trick. Crewe 3, Cheltenham 1. So, relegation looks all over for Fulham.
At the current situation, the current position, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, they seem to have lost the fizz that they gained at Reading. But the most important thing for me is Reading losing at Arsenal and Bolton 1 up at Middlesbrough. This is a critical situation for Reading.
for Bolton to win away at Middlesbrough today and move out the relegation places. That would suggest they're finding form just when they need it. First win in 11 last Saturday. If they build on that with a second win this afternoon, they'll have the momentum, Les.
Yeah, they will do. And, you know, I fear for Bolton at the start with Kevin Davies being out. But Raziak's come in, and first half it was all Middlesbrough. Second half, Bolton have come back into the game and deserved the lead in this game.
And rode the lot because he should have had a penalty, shouldn't he, Middlesbrough?
I'm not so sure. You two think it was a penalty. I'm not sure it was a penalty.
Mark, how do you see the relegation issue now? Any way back for Fulham?
No, not now. They've had opportunities, a couple of opportunities. They haven't taken them. And Peter Crouch was a weak shot. It went in. 2-0 down. Don't think they can come back now.
Another goal at Upton Park. West Ham playing Derby. Dan Walker reporting.
Well, Ray, how many times have Derby fans seen this season? Their team are playing good football, the better football on the pitch. Then they make a mistake at the back. They get caught cold. Freddie Ljungberg gets away and sets up the substitute Carlton Cole to put West Ham in front again.
To Scotland now, given their midweek win over Rangers, Celtic were a point behind the SPL leaders going into a home game with Aberdeen. Although Rangers have 2 games in hand, no SPL game for Rangers this weekend. They play St Johnstone in a Scottish Cup semi-final tomorrow. Brian McLaughlin is watching this afternoon's Celtic-Aberdeen match. A Celtic win takes them top of the table.
And they lead by 1-0. Georges Samaras on loan from Manchester City with the strike 10 minutes into the second half. But here goes Scott McDonald. Is that a second? No, a tremendous save by Jamie Langfield. Scott McDonald clean through and goal. Jamie Langfield, a magnificent fingertip save over the top of the crossbar. Scott Severn hit both posts for Aberdeen early on, and they've rarely threatened a home goal. McDonald and Nakamura have also come close. McDonald again coming close here. 11 minutes left for play here at Parkhead. It's Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0.
Yeah, Celtic top, Rangers have those games in hand. In Scottish Football League Division 1, Hamilton can confirm their promotion up to the SPL with a home win over Clyde. It's going to happen. Ian Turner.
Yes, Hamilton Accies will be playing their football in the SPL next season. They've led Division 1 from start to finish, and this afternoon they've been miles ahead of Clyde, who had Neil McGregor sent off just before Stevenson scored from the penalty spot. Offion's 21st of the season made it 2, and the celebrations can begin in about 9.5 minutes' time. Hamilton 2, Clyde 0.
Equaliser for Joel Porter for Hartlepool away at Brighton, which could just about finish off Brighton's chances of sneaking into the playoffs. Championship leaders West Bromwich Albion are playing away at Norwich. And when we take Albion to the threshold of promotion, David Garrido reporting.
Well, they're very, very close now. Norwich 1, West Brom 2. Such a pulsating game, which exploded into life with Robert Coran's scrappy opener. And how we didn't get another goal before half-time, no one knows. Zoltan Gira struck the crossbar after the break and then got the Baggies fans properly bouncing up and down with a superb right foot volley. The celebration, a cartwheel and a somersault, almost as impressive. But Norwich have had their chances, and a penalty coolly converted by Ched Evans after a handball by Liam Barnett means this one is far from over. Norwich 1, West Brom 2.
Leeds on their way to the playoffs in League One. Milton Keynes Dons on their way to League One promoted. Stockport will have to live and fight another day. They've still got a chance of getting the 3rd automatic promotion place. But in the Championship, the next stop is to Bramall Lane, because if they win and other results go their way, the playoffs aren't out of the question for Sheffield United. They have to beat second-placed Hull. Simon Clark reporting.
And they have been the better team. They lead 2-0. The second goal, a penalty to James Beattie. And despite Hull City starting the day in second place and still having all 11 men as opposed to Sheffield United's 10, Sheffield United have looked the better side throughout, and deservedly they lead 2-0.
Look at the score at Vicarage Road. Let's go there now. 5th playing 6th. Watford versus Crystal Palace. A key game affecting promotion and playoffs. The result will open and close doors. Let's hear from Tony Lockwood.
Yes, a hugely significant scoreline. Watford 0, Crystal Palace 2. Watford season falling apart. Neil Warnock brought on Paul Eiffel. One touch onto his left foot, rifled into the top corner. And then Victor Moses from a tight angle, forcing home a second. That after Priskin had headed against the underside of the Palace crossbar. Watford 0, Palace 2.
Colchester relegated. Coventry are going to get 3 points, give themselves a chance of staying in the Championship. Wolves and Ipswich hammering on the door to the playoffs in the Championship, playing each other at Molineux, 8th against 7th at kick-off. Latest news from Steve Lee.
And it's Wolves 1, Ipswich 0. This game as tight can be. Chances for both sides, but in the end, one moment of quality could settle it. It came from Sylvan Ebanks-Blake, his 9th goal for Wolves since he joined in January. Kept it on the edge of the box, a low shot beat the keeper. That could be the difference between these two sides. 1-0 Wolves.
Let's go to League Two, because Wrexham are fighting to stay in the Football League after an 87-year stint. 9 points from safety at kick-off. At home to fourth bottom Notts County. Nick Barnes reporting.
Yes, real lifeline here. Neil Roberts has given Wrexham the lead in the 77th minute. As the way things stand at the moment, with Dagenham trailing at Rotherham 2-1, that 9 points is narrowed down to 6. With just over 10 minutes left to play. A free kick on the left-hand side, the far post. Neil Roberts was up to head the ball past Russell Holt. So Wrexham, an absolute lifeline with 3 games left after this. Wrexham 1, Notts County 0.
Swansea promoted, but messing things up for the title this afternoon, though they've got a goal back through Andy Robinson with 11 minutes to go. Yeovil 2-1 up. Hearts have financial problems. They're beating St Mirren by 3-2 in Scotland. Berwick 2, Wraith 5. Lee Bryce with 3 minutes to go there. In the Championship, 8th bottom Barnsley, 3rd bottom Leicester, both trying to avoid relegation, playing each other. If Barnsley win, they're safe. Alan Biggs reporting.
It's Barnsley 0, it's Leicester 1. Leicester's defenders mainly are the heroes here, but the headline grabber for the second week running is Ian Hume. A late equaliser against Colchester last week, a possible crucial winner here. Poached from close range, his 10th of the season as Barnsley creaked at the back. Otherwise, Barnsley have had the better of it, hitting the woodwork twice, Devaney and then Leon. But Barnsley could be back in trouble as a result of their poor finishing. It's Barnsley 0, Leicester 1.
Leicester out of trouble, just. Sheffield Wednesday in trouble. Let's hear about Southampton's relegation worries now. Saints playing Burnley, watched by Andy Barwell.
And Southampton in trouble. Burnley lead 1-0 thanks to Stephen Caldwell's header in first half stoppage time. It's getting desperate for Southampton in their survival battle. Bradley Wright Phillips has found the post, but 3 substitutions for Southampton showing their desperation. Strikers Nathan Dyer, Marek Sekonovsky and Vincent Pericard all on, but it remains Southampton 0, Burnley 1.
Colchester already confirmed as relegated. Coventry are going to zoom up the table, it would appear. They're playing this afternoon away at Colchester. Neil Henderson reporting.
Yes, Ray, well, Coventry fans can breathe a huge sigh of relief. It's their first away win in 2008 with goals from Best, Fox, a Ward penalty, and then Doyle just a few moments ago to take the pressure off Chris Coleman. But there's still 2 games to come against Wolves and Charlton. Colchester 1, Coventry 4.
Blackpool and Sheffield Wednesday both need points to avoid relegation. Sheffield Wednesday 3rd bottom as things stand. Mark Bishop.
It's Blackpool 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. A robustier centre-end game, Ray, with Wednesday reduced to 10 men when Peter Gilbert got his straight red for striking out at Paul Dickoff. Mayhem ensured after that. Play stopped for 5 minutes as police and stewards stopped a large section of Wednesday supporters from spilling out onto the pitch. It didn't matter in the end. Dickoff's magnificent volley, a 25-yard strike, had put Blackpool back into the lead after Wood's header had cancelled out Jorgensen's opener. But Wednesday now throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Blackpool. But they're holding on. Blackpool 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Almighty scrap to avoid the 3rd relegation place in the Championship. In League 2 today, 4th playing 1st, 3rd playing 2nd. 2 of the 3 automatic promotion places are going to be settled. A point's going to be enough for league leaders MK Dons away at Stockport. Ivan Gaskell reporting.
They're on the way to 3, and I think that they'll soon be crowned champions too. Stockport 2, MK Dons 3. Keith Andrews has had a fine season as the MK Dons skipper. He's led from the front, and it's perhaps fitting that he scored the goal that probably confirms not only their promotion but their championship. He dispossessed his opposite number, Gareth Owen, strode forward and chipped with real quality past the Stockport keeper. It's all got a bit heated here, but then again we could do with warming up. Stockport 2, MK Dons 3.
The Dons up into League 1. Gillingham might be going down. 4th bottom they kicked off. Bristol Rovers have just equalised. Steve Elliott, 6 minutes to go. News on the League 2 game between 3rd place Hereford and 2nd place Peterborough now. Another chance for Peterborough to confirm promotion. Mark Clement, they're going to do it, aren't they?
They are, I think. Hereford 0, Peterborough 1. Dean Keats header in half an hour. It means that as things stand, they will be in League 1 next season. The keeper kept him in it straight from the restart. There are a couple of decent chances to seal it, but Hereford are currently threatening. It's Hereford 0, Peterborough 1.
Closing stage of the Barclays Premier League games being played today. Fulham fighting for their Premier League status. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Jake Humphrey.
Well, I'm afraid to say, Ray, you've hit the nail on the head right there. The Fulham players haven't given up. Danny Murphy, just before going off, went close with a shot that was well saved by Jose Reina. But I have to say, the fans seem to have given up. I've hardly seen a kick of a ball in the last 10 minutes because all the fans in front of me have been stood up, allowing people to leave. It must be a third empty by now. Fans are leaving, players still working hard, but is it all in vain? 2-0 Liverpool.
Bolton on their way out of the relegation places. Steve Sutton.
As it stands, Ray, Middlesbrough 0, Bolton 1. Middlesbrough pressing, but Bolton hanging on, and their goal came just on the hour, just after Gavin McCann had handled in his own area. The penalty appeal turned down, the play switched to the other end. Bolton then had a penalty turned down, forced a corner. Middlesbrough didn't deal with it, and Gavin McCann forced it over the line from close range.
Birmingham under pressure. They play Aston Villa tomorrow. Reading seriously under pressure, losing to Arsenal at lunchtime. Wigan against Tottenham. Richard Askham.
Still Wigan 1, Spurs 1, Ray. Both sides have made changes up front. Darren Bent is on for Spurs for Robbie Keane, Sibierski for Heskey and King for Marcus Bent for Wigan, who are pressing. Antoine Sibierski has had a very good chance to score, finding space in the box. He's screwed his volley wide. Not easy, but he has put those away before. He didn't, and it could be a very nervous last few minutes for the home fans.
And let's go to Upton Park. Dan Walker. Are West Ham fans being entertained? Are they being encouraged by their team's performance against relegated Derby?
I think they're relieved, Ray, that they're not going to be on the end of Derby's first away win of the season. That goal from Carlton Cole, since they scored that to go 2-1 ahead, the game has gone a little dead again. West Ham bringing on their substitutes to try and slow it down as Zamora gets a header in. Well saved by Roy Carroll, the former West Ham keeper. West Ham just seeing this one out. It doesn't look like Derby have much left.
Having lost the last 3 games, this is a vital fixture for West Ham. What would you see as the significance of West Ham if they would have lost this today?
Well, first of all, foremost, they're winning. But at 1-1, and I was watching the monitor, you could see that the West Ham fans were getting very irritated. It would have been an embarrassing draw, a worse defeat. If West Ham would have lost this would have been sufficient to put Alan Kirby's management under serious pressure.
So, Les, what you're reading now of the Fulham-Bolton situation, surely it's very difficult to see a way back for Fulham after this defeat to Liverpool.
It is. You know, Bolton have done themselves a massive favour today because not only have they looked like they're going to get a result, they've played well in the second half. Fulham, for me, you know, Liverpool made 8 changes. And you're at home, you need to be putting Liverpool under pressure with the changes they've made, and they've just not done that. And it's been a stroll in the park for Liverpool most of it.
Mark, as we look at the situation as far as relegation is concerned, Bolton will now have momentum if they can win this game.
Well, you just pull yourself out the bottom 3. As I said, Fulham went away to Reading and got the win they wanted, and then they can't back it up against Liverpool. So that's what they needed to do. And everybody else just above them as well. You're looking and you're thinking, Bolton, Reading, Birmingham, they're definitely in the mix. I feel Sunderland are safe. But Bolton today went away, and I thought Middlesbrough would have won. I felt strongly for Middlesbrough. But the second half, they played well. And I have to say as well that Derby have given West Ham a scare as well.
Mansfield 3, Shrewsbury 1. A late goal for Mansfield could make sure that they have a chance of staying in the Football League. They kicked off second bottom and they kicked off 4 points from safety. They played Dagenham and Redbridge, who were third bottom, on the final game of the season. That'll be a vital 3 points for Mansfield as they attempt to stay in the Football League and extend their 77-year stint. Congratulations going to Hamilton. They're playing Clyde this afternoon on their way into the SPL for the first time in 19 years, I think it is. Ian Turner reporting.
That's right, Ray. It's taken them 19 years, but Hamilton Academical are back in Scotland's top flight. They've led Division 1 from start to finish, and few will deny that Billy Reid's side are worthy champions. They haven't lost all season in their plastic pitch, which will now be replaced with grass over the summer. Stevenson from the penalty spot, off the on were on target, but it's been a fine effort all season by the whole team, and next season it will be Celtic and Rangers visiting rather than Clyde and Morton. Hamilton 2, Clyde 0, Hamilton promoted to the SPL.
Congratulations to Hamilton. Let's hear about Celtic. We're going back to the top of the SPL, where Rangers have plenty of games in hand. Brian McLaughlin.
They are, if the scoreline stays this way, Ray. It's Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0. We're in the first of 3 minutes of stoppage time. Georgios Samaras with the only goal of the game with a glancing header 10 minutes into the second half. That Samaras has twice, on another 2 occasions rather, had the ball in the back of the net, only for the flag to be raised for offside. But deep into stoppage time now. Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0.
3 games in hand for Rangers. To the Championship, Norwich against West Bromwich Albion. David Garrido.
Well, a bit of late pressure from Norwich, making this a little bit less comfortable for West Brom, but they still lead by 2-1. Zoltan Gera with that touch of Premier League class, you feel, making the difference. His 10th goal of the season. West Brom on course for 3 points and very possibly a place back in England's top division. Norwich 1, West Brom 2.
Yeah, Albion on the threshold of promotion. Hull kicked off second, away at Bramall Lane, playing Sheffield United, who haven't given up on the playoffs. Simon Clark.
And they're very much on course for the playoffs today. They lead 2-0 to Sheffield United. Goals from Quinn and a penalty from Beattie. That's his 22nd of the season. Hull City trying to reach the top flight of English football for the first time in 104 years. Have failed. They've choked at the last minute. They've not played well all day. And they're trailing 2-0. And that's how it is with a couple of minutes to go.
Stoke play Bristol City. That's 3rd against 4th. It kicks off at 5:20. Watford playing Crystal Palace. Watford's chances of automatic promotion look just about gone, I'd say. Tony Lockwood.
It is still Watford 0, Crystal Palace 2. Back in late October, 21 points separated these sides. Now if the scoreline stays the same, the gap will be down to just 1. Paul Eiffel and then Victor Moses did the damage, which could well reinforce Palace's playoff prospects. Watford 0, Palace 2.
Goal in the match between Colchester and Coventry, Neil Henderson.
Yeah, 5-1 now, second penalty of the game. Elliott Ward with his second of the match. 5-1 after Dan brought him down inside the area, and Coventry full of confidence now. They've got 2 key games coming up against Wolves and Charlton. If they win those, they might just survive. 5-1.
And a whistle's gone at Craven Cottage. Fulham have averaged 12th in the Premier League over the last 6 seasons. It'll take something of a miracle now to see them playing in the Barclays Premier League next season. Jake Humphrey.
Well, for the past 90 minutes, takeovers, boredom battles and tabloid headlines for all the wrong reasons have been forgotten by the travelling Liverpool fans. If any of the home supporters' worries could be papered over with some world-class players and a couple of good finishers too. Whilst Fulham fans contemplated relegation, Jermaine Pennant smashed a right-foot shot past a helpless Casey Keller to calm an unfamiliar Liverpool lineup. Into the second half, the stands were full of chatter about away days at Blackpool and Barnsley, whilst Peter Crouch made those fears even more real with a crisp shot that Keller possibly could have saved. The fans left the ground well before the final whistle. Fulham will soon be leaving the top flights based on today's evidence. Fulham 0, Liverpool 2.
Champions League semi-final on the way for Liverpool, just about 4th place confirmed now. Wigan against Tottenham, final whistle, Richard Askham.
Wigan 1, Spurs 1. This was a case of Wigan grit against the style and swagger of a Spurs side who took the lead early on through Dimitar Berbatov. Heskey with a turn and shot, then equalised for Wigan to send them in level at the break. And it was the home side who kicked on, Marcus Bent hitting the bar when he should have scored. Sibierski and Palios also had chances to win it for the Latics, but they'll be happy with a deserved point and another step towards safety.
Cardiff's chances of a playoff place, if they would have won today and won their game in hand, they would have had a chance. But Scunthorpe, already relegated, might have snatched the win late in the game, 3-2. Goals still being scored, final whistles going to Nottingham Forest, just in with a chance of an automatic promotion place, definitely in the playoffs. Leeds have won away at Millwall, Leeds going into the playoffs. Swindon 6, relegated Port Vale 0. Final whistle has gone at Upton Park. West Ham against Derby. Dan Walker.
Well, Ray, after 3 straight defeats, West Ham were desperate for a win. They got it, but it was a real scrap. They dominated a poor first half. Bobby Zamora scored a header. Robert Green in the Hammers goal could have spent the half doing a crossword with his pipe and slippers. But Derby found a spark in the second period and a goal as well. Tyrone Mears finishing a move that started in his own area. And as Upton Park growled, just when it looked like Derby fans were beginning to dream of an away win, Carlton Cole hammered in a winner. Derby still had chances though. Relief for Alan Kirbishley. Same old story for already relegated Derby.
Crew giving themselves a chance of staying in League One by beating Cheltenham at home. Crew 3, Cheltenham 1. Crew kicked off 5th bottom. Latest in the Middlesbrough-Bolton game. Time added on being played. As things stand, Bolton are going out of the bottom 3. They don't really want to avoid. They just can't concede an equaliser late in the game to keep them in the relegation places. Steve Sutton.
Yes, Ray, we're into the second minute of 4 minutes added on time. Middlesbrough with a shot high over the bar there. Bolton hanging on. They lead by 1-0. That goal on the hour from Gavin McCann, forcing it in over the line from close range. What a valuable 3 points these will be if Bolton can hang on for another couple of minutes.
And his chances of sneaking to the playoffs would have gone, it appeared, by conceding a last-minute equaliser at home to Preston. Full time's gone there now. Plymouth 2, Preston 2. Final whistle, scores flying in on the video printer. Let's go to Celtic Park. Celtic Aberdeen, Brian McLaughlin.
Where it finished Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0, a result that sends Celtic back to the top of the SPL for the first time in 2008. They made hard work of it though. Only Georges Samaras with his header 10 minutes into the second half to show for his efforts. McDonald, Nakamura and McGeady all missed glorious opportunities to increase the lead. There was drama late on when Aberdeen seemed to score a quite good goal. It was as well, only for referee Ian Bryans to blow his whistle for a handball. Celtic's next match is here against Rangers in 8 days' time. When that and the title race truly is back on. It finished at Celtic Park. Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0.
Hard to see West Bromwich Albion messing it up now. Looks like they're going to be returning to the Premier League. David Garrido?
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree with that one, Ray. Norwich 1, West Brom 2. The Baggies just about surviving a Norwich onslaught in the last 10 minutes. And these 3 points could well be enough to ultimately guarantee their return to the Premier League. Zoltan Gira, the absolute inspiration.
Crystal Palace, that is a famous victory for them this afternoon away at Watford. 5th against 6th. Watford really needed to win that match if they're going to have any chance of just climbing back into an automatic promotion place. And Palace, well, that closes the door on several clubs as far as the playoffs are concerned. And don't forget, Crystal Palace have such a terrific record in the playoffs. Looks like they're closing in on a 6th appearance in the playoffs for promotion up into the Premier League. Wrexham 1, Notts County 0. Wrexham give themselves a lifeline. 87 years in the Football League. 9 points from safety at the start of play today, but giving themselves a chance with a 1-0 victory over fourth bottom Notts County. Right, Sheffield United against Hull in the Championship. Hull kicked off in second place. They've messed things up. Simon Clark.
We'll have another team in second place tonight once the later kick-off gets underway. Sheffield United 2, Hull City 0. Great for Sheffield United and their playoff prospects, and playing for most of the game with 10 men after Chris Morgan was sent off. First, a fine goal for Quinn, Stephen Quinn with a lovely volley, and James Beattie with a penalty with his 22nd of the season, making it safe 2-0. Hull really never in the game, and when Wayne Brown was declared unfit at the start of the game, their rock-solid anchor in defence, it did look bad for the Tigers, and it remained that way till the end. Sheffield United 2, Hull City 0.
Brighton 2, Hartlepool 1. Final whistle has gone at the Riverside on Teesside. Middlesbrough against Bolton. Famous victory for Bolton. Steve Sutton.
Yes, indeed, Ray. Middlesbrough 0, Bolton 1. Gavin McCann on the hour for Bolton. Could that be a life-saving goal for them? They're out of the bottom 3 tonight, I think, as a result of those 3 points. But if you'd seen the opening 10 minutes, Ray, you wouldn't have thought it possible. Middlesbrough had Bolton reduced to headless chickens 3 times. Al-Habsi made great saves to keep Middlesbrough at bay. But the turning point on the hour, Gavin McCann handling in his own area. Middlesbrough denied a penalty. Game switched to the other end. Bolton denied a penalty. The ball went for a corner, and Gavin McCann poked it home from close range. You'd have thought they'd won the cup final at the end of the 90 minutes. 1-0 to Bolton.
Bolton out of the relegation places. Reading and Birmingham under pressure. Congratulations, I think, are going to go to MK Dons, promoted from League 2 to League 1. Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, as you come to me, the whistle has gone. Stockport 2, MK Dons 3. The Dons party hats are on. The congas in full swing, but they had to sweat for it. Twice Stockport edged ahead. Twice MK Dons levelled it within a minute. That happened in the first half, and then again in the second. There were celebrations as that second equaliser went in, but the real celebrations were sparked by Don skipper Keith Andrews, his sublime finish, kicking off Paul Ince's promotion party. It's vol au vents all round for the visitors. Stockport 2, promoted MK Dons 3.
For 3 years in the bottom division, Peterborough move up a level. Mark Clement.
What price the text winging its way through the ether from Ewood Park. Hereford 0, Peterborough 1. Dean Keats' bullet header on half an hour has sealed Ferguson Jr.'s first promotion as a manager. He's down there with his players. He's jumping in a huge, great huddle. I watched him as the time ticked down, tapping his watch, just like his dad. Darren Ferguson's done it. He's got Peterborough promoted. It finished Hereford 0, Peterborough 1.
In League One, Swansea promoted. Second automatic promotion place going to Carlisle or Doncaster. Let's hear about Carlisle, who played fifth place Southend. Peter Slater.
Well, they've been beaten 2-1 and they haven't done their hopes of automatic promotion any good here. Southend were in front through Charlie Mulgrew's 7th minute free kick. Carlisle very laboured before the break. They were much better after it, and they were level in the 52nd minute. Simon Hackney's free kick almost on the corner flag, going straight in. David Raven was sent off midway through the half for Carlisle. That meant that it was difficult for them anyway, and then Southend snatched it in the last minute of normal time. Mark Gower's cross headed in at the far post by Lee Barnard. So Southend into the playoffs. Carlisle may not make it automatically. It's finished Carlisle 1, Southend 2.
Carlisle, Doncaster and Nottingham Forest all scrapping away for the second automatic promotion place now. Forest have a good goal difference. All the results just about in. Time for Tim Gudgeon to confirm today's final scores.
Yes, here we go, Ray. The Barclays Premier League, Arsenal 2, Reading 0. Blackburn Rovers and Manchester United kick off shortly. Fulham 0, Liverpool 2. Middlesbrough 0, Bolton Wanderers 1. West Ham United 2, Derby County 1. Wigan Athletic 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Barnsley 0, Leicester City 1. Blackpool 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Colchester United 1, Coventry City 5. Norwich City 1, West Bromwich Albion 2. Plymouth Argyle 2, Preston North End 2. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Charlton Athletic 0. Scunthorpe United 3, Cardiff City 2. Sheffield United 2, Hull City 0. Southampton 0, Burnley 1. Stoke City and Bristol City have an evening kick-off. Watford 0, Crystal Palace 2. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Ipswich Town 1. In League One, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Hartlepool United 1. Bristol Rovers 1, Gillingham 1. Carlisle United 1, Southend United 2. Crewe Alexandra 3, Cheltenham Town 1. Huddersfield Town 1, Tranmere Rovers 0. Leyton Orient 1, Doncaster Rovers 1. Millwall 0, Leeds United 2. Northampton Town 2, Oldham Athletic 0. Nottingham Forest 1, Luton Town 0. Swansea City 1, Yeovil Town 2. Swindon Town 6, Port Vale 0. Walsall 1, Bournemouth 3. In League 2, Accrington Stanley 0, Barnet 2. Bradford City 2, Grimsby Town 1. Bury 1, Macclesfield Town 0. Chesterfield 1, Darlington 1. Hereford United 0, Peterborough United 1. Lincoln City 3, Brentford 1. Mansfield Town 3, Shrewsbury Town 1. Rochdale 1, Morecambe 0. Rotherham United 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. Stockport County 2, Milton Keynes Dons 3. Wrexham 1, Notts County 0. Wycombe Wanderers 1, Chester City 0. In the Blue Square Premier, Ebbsfleet United 2, Altrincham 0. Farnsley Celtic 0, Forest Green Rovers 2. Halifax Town 0, Aldershot Town 0. Histon 2, Droylsden 0. Northwich Victoria 1, Grays Athletic 0. Ruston and Diamonds 0, Exeter City 2. Salisbury 0, Cambridge United 2. Stafford Rangers 1, Crawley Town 3. Torquay United 0, York City 0. Weymouth 2, Kidderminster Harriers 1. Woking 1, Oxford United 2. Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0. Falkirk 0, Gretna 0. Hearts 3, St Mirren 2. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 3, Kilmarnock 0. In the Ernbrew Scottish Division 1, Hamilton Academical 2, Clyde 0. Livingston 1, Partick Thistle 0. Morton 3, Dunfermline Athletic 0. Queen of the South 1, Dundee 0. Scottish Div 2, Airdrie United 1, Alloa Athletic 1. Berwick Rangers 2, Wraith Rovers 5. Peterhead 2, Brecon City 0. Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 3. Ross County 3, Cowdenbeath 0. And Scottish Div 3, Dumbarton 1, East Stirling 0. East Fife 2, Arbroath 1. Montrose 3, Elgin City 2. Stenhousemuir 2, Forfar Athletic 0. Stranraer 3, Albion Rovers 0.
And the Welsh Premier, Aberystwyth 2, Newtown 2. Bangor City 1, Neath 1. Caersus 0, Carnarvon 1. Connors Quay 4, Carmarthen 3. Newry Cefn Druids 1, Haverfordwest 0. Port Talbot 3, Llangefni Town 1. Portmarnock 1, Rhyl 0. The New Saints FC 3, Llanelli 0. Welshpool Town 0, Airbus UK 1.
Here's the updated league tables. Push is coming to shove. Week by week, who's going up, who's going down is being decided. Manchester United can extend their lead to 5 points by winning at Blackburn in the evening kick-off in the Barclays Premier League. But the champions-elect have won one of their last 7 league visits to Ewood Park. Chelsea will be hoping that poor record continues ahead of their potential title decider with Manchester United at Stamford Bridge next Saturday lunchtime. Liverpool are now realistically only a point away from securing Champions League football for next season, whatever happens in this season's competition. Another defeat leaves relegated Derby needing 4 points to avoid setting a Premier League record for the fewest points in a season. Fulham need to make up a 5-point deficit in their remaining 3 games. Birmingham go into tomorrow's derby at Aston Villa in the relegation zone, but a point in that game would drag Reading into the bottom 3. Bolton's victory lifts them 2 places and a point clear of the drop. Coca-Cola Championship. West Bromwich Albion have taken a big step towards the Premier League. They're 5 points clear after winning at Norwich, although that lead will be trimmed when Stoke play Bristol City this evening. A win for either side in that game would take them above Hull, who suffered their first defeat in 7 games. They lost 2-0 at Sheffield United. Watford and Crystal Palace complete the playoff places. Palace won 2-0 at Vicarage Road this afternoon to strengthen their claim for a top 6 finish. At the other end, Colchester and Scunthorpe have already been relegated. Colchester likely to finish bottom after their 5-1 thrashing at home to Coventry. Who'll join them? Anyone's guess. Sheffield Wednesday have dropped into the bottom 3 after losing at Blackpool. They're a point behind Southampton, who lost at home to Burnley. Leicester, who began the day in the bottom 3, are up to 20th following a 1-0 win at Barnsley. Coca-Cola League One. Swansea clinched promotion last weekend and can now celebrate the title despite a home defeat to Yeovil. That's because Carlisle lost to a late goal at home to Southend. That result secures Southend's playoff place. Leeds and Brighton will contest the final playoff place. Who's getting the second automatic promotion place? Anyone's guess. Relegation-wise, Luton and Port Vale already down. Bournemouth are determined not to join them. A 5th straight win keeps their slim hopes alive. A draw for Gillingham leaves them 3 points from safety. Crewe nearly safe after beating Cheltenham. And Coca-Cola League 2. Congratulations to MK Dons and Peterborough. Both have been promoted this afternoon after beating Stockport and Hereford respectively. Despite that defeat at home to Peterborough, Hereford remain in the 3rd automatic promotion place, only a point ahead of Rochdale and Stockport. Darlington and Wickham complete the playoff picture. Both are guaranteed playoff places. Real scrap to stay in the league. Bottom 2 both winning today. Wrexham have given themselves a lifeline with victory over fellow strugglers Notts County. Wrexham are 6 points short of safety with 3 games left. Mansfield beat Shrewsbury Town to move to within a point of Dagenham and Redbridge, who lost at Rotherham. Mansfield played Dagenham and Redbridge on the last Saturday of the season. Blue Square Premier League, Aldershot's promotion confirmed in midweek. They earned a point at Halifax today too. Exeter have crept above Stevenage into the playoff places. Stafford and Droylsden already down. The big movers in the battle to avoid relegation are Northwich, who beat Grays to move out of the relegation picture. Let's take a look at Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League. Celtic have gone top of the table for the first time since January after beating Aberdeen 1-0. Celtic 2 points clear of Rangers, but Walter Smith's side have 3 games in hand. Bottom half of the table already relegated Gretna picked up a rare point at Falkirk. Division 1. Hamilton have won the First Division title and gained promotion to the top flight of Scottish football for the first time in 19 years. A case of third time lucky for manager Billy Reid, who twice finished second with former club Clyde, and Clyde are now facing the prospect of a relegation playoff after swapping places with Morton today. Situation in Scottish Division 2. Champions Ross County beat Cowdenbeath 3-0. Airdrie and Raith guarantee playoff spots. Remaining playoff places between Alloa, Peterhead and Brechin. That'll be decided next week. The other end, already relegated Berwick suffered defeat number 25 of the season, beaten 5-2 at home by Raith. In Division 3, champions East 5 came from behind to beat Arbroath and maintain their huge 23-point advantage. At the other end, East Stirling remain a point behind Forfar after both lost this afternoon. That means East Stirling must get at least a point against Montrose next week to avoid finishing bottom for the 6th season in a row. And the Principality Building Society Welsh Premier League finished today. Llanelli were crowned champions a few weeks ago. All eyes were on the other end. It's Llangefni Town and Cassws who finished in the relegation places after both lost today. The thoughts of Mark, Les and Garth on today's Premier League performances are on the way. Lots of post-match reaction is coming up too, after this summary of the top football stories of today. Rafa's reserves proved too strong for Fulham as Jermaine Pennant and Peter Crouch earned victory for a much-changed Liverpool side and pushed the West Londoners closer to relegation. Gavin McCann is the man for Bolton, earning a priceless win which takes Gary Megson's side out of the bottom 3. Arsenal's quest for silverware is over. The relegation-threatened Reading are in trouble. Adebayor and Gilberto, Arsenal scorers. Emil Heskey proved too pesky for the opposition yet again. He scored the equaliser for the 2nd time in a week as Wigan inched their way to safety. And it was Carlton Cole who scored the winning goal as the Hammers knocked Derby's brave resistance on the head. West Ham now look for a top-half finish in the table. Let's hear about the starting lineups for the game at Ewood Park now. Blackburn-Manchester United kicks off in a few minutes' time. Andrew James reporting.
Ray, Blackburn unchanged, the same 11 that started last week's defeat at Liverpool. But 4 changes for Manchester United. Goalkeeper Van der Sar and Owen Hargreaves have slight knocks, we're told, so they aren't risked ahead of Champions League duty. Thomas Kuchak and Ryan Giggs are their replacements. But good news for United fans in the return after 3 games out of Nemanja Vidic. And Carlos Tevez starts too in place of Ji-Sung Park. Ronaldo, Rooney and Scholes all start. Fair to say, Ray, it's United's strongest available lineup.
And highlights of all today's Barclays Premier League games and the Blackburn-Manchester United game still to be played in tonight's match of the day at 10:30. All the goals, all the saves, all the major incidents will be shown. And it's a 20 past start time for Match of the Day 2 tomorrow night, which is on BBC One. A Midlands derby, Villa versus Birmingham, Manchester City versus Portsmouth, and the North East derby between Newcastle and Sunderland will be centre stage. Now, well played Bolton Wanderers. First win in 11 last Saturday, won again today away at Middlesbrough, and Bolton are out of the bottom 3. Let's hear from their manager, Gary Megson.
I guess there was many aspects of today that pleased you most, but they really did play for you today, didn't they?
They've done it all the time. We've let ourselves down in terms of technique once or twice. Never, ever since I've been at the football club have I once had to criticise the honesty, integrity, and certainly the effort and work rate that they've put in. Today wasn't a classic by any means, and we set off really poorly. Probably fortunate to come in at half time with a 0-0. But the second half we played how we normally play at the Reebok and got a decent result, and it was probably the classic case of a game of 2 halves.
After the start Middlesbrough had, you needed your goalkeeper at his best, and they were significant saves early on, weren't they?
They were. That's as I just said. We were fortunate to be in it, and when I say fortunate, it's not always fortunate if you've got a goalkeeper of the class of Ali. He's made 2 or 3 really good saves that's kept us in it, and if one of those goes in, obviously it changes the game that we then have to come out and play in a little bit more fluid way. But he has made those saves, and it's not a surprise to us. That's 2 clean sheets now he's had on the trot in the Premiership, and doing really well.
Well played Bolton out of the bottom 3. And when the team came out at Ewood Park for the Blackburn-Manchester United game, that's going to supply the next chapter in the title race. What's going to happen here, Garth?
Well,
Manchester United routine victory?
The neutral want another twist in the tail, won't they? They'll want Blackburn to frighten Manchester United to death and give Chelsea a lifeline.
Got a good record, haven't they, Blackburn, against Manchester United?
I think Manchester United have won once in 7 attempts. So they've got their strongest lineup there, without Van der Sar, I would say. But I don't know. I just think there's going to be a little twist. Hopefully Blackburn can provide it.
What's your reading of the title race now, Les?
It's Man United's to lose. I think Blackburn will put up a tough opposition today, but they've gone with the strongest lineup they can possibly go with. So you know that Manchester United are paying them utmost respect today.
So we just heard from Gary Megson, the Bolton manager. They have momentum now, and they out of the relegation places, and Reading and Birmingham must be scared stiff.
Well, it was a big call for Bolton today. They had to win. No Kevin Davies, but they made up for that. Al Habsi in goal was absolutely sensational, and has been for the last 2 weeks, by the way. But today, they need to look to that goalkeeper. He's helped get them 3 points.
They've just hit form at the right time. Back-to-back wins, the first time this season. You know, they scored 7 or 8 goals before since Anelka left in 13 games. They just aren't scoring enough goals, but 1-0, 1-0, it's enough for them to get them out the bottom 3.
Yeah, with the games they've got left, can you see them completing what would be a remarkable salvage operation now, Les?
With the way that they're performing at the moment, Ray, yes, because to a man, they gave their all. As we said, Al Habsi was brilliant today, and he saved them in the first half, but went on from there. And they took the game to Middlesbrough in the second half.
Home will give them 36 points. I think that's the magic number.
All finished for Fulham?
Yes. They've got to win all their games, including Portsmouth away, Birmingham at home, and Man City away. They don't win all those games, they've got no chance.
And when you consider that they've only won 1 game away from home all season.
2 of those games are away from home.
It's
as simple as that. They've only won 1 in 18 months away from home. Too little, too late.
Well, we're mentioning now about Birmingham and Reading feeling under pressure. Look at Birmingham's games. You don't want a derby game in this situation.
No,
Liverpool, then Fulham. Well, it'll be all over Fulham by then, I would imagine. And then a home game with Blackburn, perhaps. Well, you can see them winning that one, maybe.
But Birmingham's a big game, obviously, against Villa. I mean, if they can get something against Villa, then who knows what happens at home against Liverpool.
The derby games are level.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big level. And who knows what happens against Blackburn as well.
Did you see anything in Reading's performance at the Emirates to give their fans encouragement that they can stage a comeback?
I think in the second half, yes. The first half, no. Derby, everyone would say you would expect to beat them, just like West Ham have done today. Wigan is going to be the crunch game for them.
But Wigan are on 36 points. They might think they've got the magic number to stay up. If they relax, it might give Reading a lifeline. They're on 32 points, Reading. A win there could put them right back in the picture. They could be looking at survival.
Interestingly, I saw Steve Coppell's interview at the end of the game, and he turned around and he said he's got 2 11s, 2 teams of 11, and he doesn't know what his best team is. After today's performance, I don't know which one of those 11 players today will be playing next week.
Up and down the leagues, things are getting decided. West Bromwich Albion will, we think, going to be promoted back into the Premier League. But let's go to League 2. MK Dons and Peterborough, promoted. Congratulations to them, Garth.
Yeah. Absolutely. One of the results of the day, I put that with Bolton and probably Crystal Palace away at Watford. 3 great results, but absolutely MK Dons.
I saw them in the Johnson's Trophy. Excellent football, really good football. Congratulations to Paul Ince as well. He's doing a fabulous job.
Tell you what, Mansfield and Wrexham are making quite a fight of it to stay in the Football League, aren't they?
Well, good luck to Wrexham. I think they're fighting like crazy.
I think it's too much for Wrexham. Yeah. I just, you know, they've been right at the bottom all season.
Garth, I guess whatever level you play at, it doesn't matter sometimes. You've got to play for pride.
Absolutely. If that's all that's left, you play for it.
Thanks, gentlemen. Nearly time to close here on BBC One. But more sport over on BBC Two very shortly. The Rugby League Challenge Cup tie between Harlequins and Castleford kicks off very soon. For full details on all today's football news, the results, tables, goal scorers, match reports, post-match reaction, and for sports news across the board, you can go to the BBC Sport website, constantly being updated. And via the red button, we'll continue to hear from managers and players as they emerge from their dressing rooms. League tables will cycle on the screen. Mark, Les and Garth will continue to debate and discuss today's football results. Our football service continues till 6 o'clock. And this is where we say goodbye to BBC One viewers. To stay with us here in the Final Score studio, press the red button. Otherwise, it's bye for now.